My name is Jake, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about happiness. There's a lot of stuff going on. If you turn on the news, if you click on YouTube and you see in your feed, there's a lot of disturbing stuff going on. And I want to focus on things that really bring me joy and happiness. And dividends, they absolutely bring me joy. A lot of you, if you follow the dividend community, whether in blogs, here on YouTube, you probably have seen this quote from John Rockefeller. Do you know the only thing that gives me pleasure is to see my dividends coming in? I don't agree with this. I don't agree that seeing your dividends come in is the only thing that should give you pleasure. I see the dividends that come into my portfolio. I'm using M1 Finance, and when my dividends come in, I'm repurchasing shares and it gets really exciting. I get to see that Caterpillar paid me $2.59 on May 20th. Yes, that's really cool. Texas Instruments pay me a little bit over $4, AbbVie over $15. This brings me a lot of joy. And I mean, I guess I could think of, okay, well, if this were in the thousands, right? If Caterpillar were paying me thousands of dollars every quarter, I mean, that would give me a lot of pleasure, I would assume, but really that's not what gives me pleasure. Really gets me excited when I see that, for example, Caterpillar in my portfolio is growing quarter over quarter, and then I'm seeing that compounding effect take place. But really, what gives me pleasure is the idea that I'm pursuing financial independence. Financial independence, there's a movement here, it's been around for quite a while now. It's called the FIRE movement. Financial independence, retire early. And that's what I'm pursuing. The dividend portfolio here that I share with everyone very candidly on YouTube, it's really so that I can reach financial independence. And I'm pursuing a little bit of a different approach than the traditional FIRE movement. Traditionally, the FIRE movement stresses about, you're growing your portfolio and then you're going to liquidate through the 4% rule. And then essentially your money is going to outlive you. And with my approach, it's a little bit different. I'm not looking to liquidate my shares. I'm looking to live off of the dividend income from my portfolio, as well as from rental income. So with the FIRE movement, I think if you're unfamiliar with the FIRE movement, there's a lot of great videos out there, a lot of great channels, a lot of great bloggers that talk about the FIRE movement. I just recently was watching a TED Talk from Lacey Philippic back in 2018. I thought she gave a really great description of what FIRE really stands for and what it's all about.
Financially independent, retiring early. It's a term coined in the mid-90s by Vicky Robin and Joe Dominguez, and it's a very simple, which is not to say easy, concept. Basically, you stop spending so much on stuff. You take the money you would have spent on stuff and you save it. And once you've saved it, you then buy assets with it. Assets are things that pay you, things like property, shares, bonds, index funds. And you keep going like that through your working life, and eventually you reach a point at which the income from your assets is enough to sustain your lifestyle. At that point, you don't have to work anymore because you don't need a wage to survive. Working becomes a choice.
The part that I love the most about the FIRE movement is you're financially independent. Really, it's not about drinking martinis on the beach and doing absolutely nothing. I think that would get old and boring after a while. I think really the true concept is being truly happy about your situation and where you're at. And being able to choose what you do, when you do it, and where you do it. I think that's what's the most appealing for me. Most people think about work as a dreading experience that they go to. They have to because they have to pay their bills, they're in debt, they have consumer debt, they want to go on a vacation and they can't do that unless they have income. And so a lot of people are really getting drawn towards this concept of financial independence and going to great lengths to achieve it. And myself included. When I was growing up, I had different jobs. I worked at a grocery store, and I remember very distinctly that there were times where I didn't want to go to work, and I was just really unhappy the fact that I didn't have a choice. And with FIRE, with being financially independent and being able to retire early, you have the choice. And that's what is so appealing for me personally. Once you start on your path towards financial independence and you really start taking it serious and devoting a lot of your time and energy towards reaching your goals, it becomes very exciting. It's kind of like, the way that I relate it to is, maybe you saw a really interesting video or you saw a movie, you saw a meme. I think, 10 years ago, it was like, okay, I want to tell all my friends and people about a movie that I saw in the theaters that they got to go see, and you try to convince them and then you get really excited. Hey, you got to see this video because I know you're going to love it. Right now, it's like everybody wants to share memes because they're just hilarious, and everybody wants to share that, that smile that they got from that meme or whatever it may be. And I think that's kind of how it is with the FIRE movement. Once you've started on your journey to financial independence, you really want to share it with other people. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel, where I've started on this path towards financial independence, and I'm documenting very openly, very transparently what I'm doing. And there's been some ups and downs in the process along the way, but you know what? I'm really excited about where I'm at. I know that I have a long road ahead of me, but the journey is also part of the fun of it. I think, if I were to fast forward 15 years or so where I'm striving to reach financial independence, I think I'm hoping that I can look back and see and, kind of say, all right, I did it. I achieved it. It's like when you go hiking and you start off at the bottom of the mountain and then, towards the end of the day, you reach the top of the mountain and you look over and you see everything and you think to yourself, wow. That was, and you think to yourself, okay, that was absolutely worth it. The views were just absolutely worth it. And that's what I'm hoping that I can say about my experience in striving for financial independence. Something that really helps me along my way to stay motivated is to understand why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it so that I can just sit home and do nothing. Really, that's not my goal. I'm sure I'll do other things. I'll pursue other hobbies. But really, what I'm striving for is I want the financial independence. I don't want to be reliant on a job to pay for my living expenses, to do what I want to do. And for me, there's really a lot of things that I would like to do. A lot of people talk about traveling. Definitely traveling is going to be interesting. But for me, my dream, I live in Austin, Texas. When I go to work, I'm in back-to-back traffic all day. And what I dream of is retiring in the mountains. I dream of being able to retire, not hear a single car, and just have peace. Really, that's for me, that is true happiness. For other people, maybe, if you're pursuing financial independence, maybe for you, it's so that you can travel, right? So that you can go and visit other countries, experience other cultures, maybe learn a new language, do different things. My wife and I, we recently went on a vacation to New Zealand. Ever since I was a kid, ever since I saw Lord of the Rings and I saw Hobbiton and all that good stuff, I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. And I think it was almost 20 years later that I finally was able to make the trip. Just simply with work, with finances, timing, everything, the stars didn't quite align for a long, long time. And my wife and I, we finally made it out there here this last December, directly before the pandemic. So we're really lucky and very blessed that we were able to do that. Being able to go and travel and see other cultures, experience different things. I had never traveled and slept in a camper van and traveled throughout a whole country. It was a brand new experience for me. And it was one of the first times where I was able to disconnect from work, simply because we didn't have good reception. We didn't have a choice. There wasn't always, when we were in the mountains in the southern part of New Zealand, there wasn't a lot of reception. So we didn't have a choice but to completely disconnect from our work. Previously, in my position, I'm usually always dialed in. Whenever I go on a vacation, I always have my phone. I always have access to my work email. And so this vacation was great because I got to completely disconnect, and it was absolutely amazing. We went into the mountains. We went on hikes. We drove all over the place. We went and saw the hobbits, right? I think the highlight for us was when we went into a helicopter ride and we flew over I guess the mountains in the southern part of New Zealand. It was the most amazing experience I'd ever had, and it kind of made me think, okay, when I retire early, I mean, I'm working my butt off now. I'm side hustling. I have rental properties that I'm managing. I'm doing so much. And so that when I retire, I want to be able to dial it back. I'll still pursue other passions that I have, but this is for me, this is how I view financial happiness, financial independence, so that I can go and do amazing things like this. And that's why I'm pursuing financial independence. And I hope that, for those of you that are following the channel, I hope that you're also inspired to follow your own passion, your own dreams of what you're trying to accomplish, and understand that, it is a journey. It is an experience. It's not going to happen overnight, especially if you're pursuing financial independence through investing in a dividend growth strategy. Patience is absolutely key. And I hope that this was motivating and inspiring for some of you. And if it was, let me know. Kind of share where you're at, right? I'm 34 years old. I'm aiming for financial independence by the time I'm 50. If it's earlier, great. If it's later, okay, that's fine. But that's what my wife and I, what we're striving for. I'd be really curious, where are you at? Are you, and you're in a similar situation as me? Are you doing it a little bit different? What are some of your things that you're looking to do? For me, I want to retire in the mountains. That's my dream. Thank you everybody so much for supporting the channel, for liking the videos. If you're new, subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch everybody in the next video.